What is going on? Welcome back to another Raw review. This time, August 8th, 1994, episode 74. And let's get right into it. Raw starts off with some medical sketch to intro the show. Ridiculous commentary to start off the show as well, with awful medical lines coming from Randy Savage, too. As a new viewer, no way anyone will believe that he used to be a big deal, a big star back in the day. The opening was really cheesy. Then the fake Undertaker starting off with a jobber match. Ted DiBiase was also with him. This fake Taker was so awkward when doing his moves in the ring, so stiff, but he picks up the win with a choke slam. DiBiase brings out a body bag as a throw to Leslie Nielsen again, where he's been searching for the Undertaker and says he feels he's onto something. Then we get another recap of Luger having another chance to explain himself. He says he does not belong to anyone, but Shawn Michaels keeps cutting him off. So they keep the rumors going, but out of all the times that they've implied that Lex is with DiBiase, this is the best they've done at Lex making a case for himself that he isn't with the Million Dollar Man. Lex comes out for a jobber match and gets the win with a forearm. Then the Million Dollar Man show continues as Bam Bam Bigelow and IRS in a tag match take on Tatanka and Doink the Clown. Tatanka is going to be facing Lex Luger at SummerSlam, so I'm guessing Tatanka will turn heel and join DiBiase before their match. I don't remember Luger ever being heel in WWF. Tatanka is on that list of wrestlers I'm thinking about skipping any of their matches when they appear. Right now it's only Lex Luger. Tatanka and Yokozuna are neck and neck. I'll let you guys know my decision after SummerSlam. Not much happened in this match. Somewhere before commercial, Iris and Tatanka fell a spot where Tatanka was supposed to spill over the top rope after Iris pulled the ropes down. So that was something of note. Then Bam Bam and Tatanka collide in midair when they both go for a crossbody. This allows the hot tag to Doink, who cleans house, but as the ref is distracted, an enziguri by Bigelow and then followed by a clothesline from IRS for the win. They start beating down Tatanka after the match, so Lex runs out for the save. Bam Bam and IRS take off before Luger gets to them. So DiBiase gets in the ring and places some cash in Luger's hand. Tatanka comes to his senses and he notices the money in Luger's hand and starts asking what he's doing. Luger tries to explain but throws the money on the ground, but Tatanka still thinks that Luger is working for DiBiase. Tatanka throws the money at Luger and the wad of cash bounces off him into the crowd and you can see Ted DiBiase running after it. Tatanka and Luger square off and Bigelow holds Luger back as the other officials come out to separate the two. We then have another edition of King's Court with Owen and Bruce Hart as his scheduled guest. Introduces Owen as the King of Hearts first. Jim Neidhart is at his side as well. Owen says that the steel cage reminds him of when they were younger and Brett used to bully him, but now he's bigger and stronger and the WWF title is on the line, so at SummerSlam it will be a different story. Owen says that the family are all on Owen's side. Then Bruce comes out because it is said that he's the only one on the fence. Bruce calls BS and says that nobody is on Owen's side. He calls him a disgrace to the family and that he won't have anybody at SummerSlam to protect him inside the cage. The segment goes off the rails, but instead of it staying off, they go to commercial. Bruce kept interrupting. Not sure if that was part of it or not, but that's how King's Court ended. That's one of the problems with not scripting or getting people that are not from the company to cut promos. They can just go off. They have no idea how mic presence works in the wrestling business, I guess. Because, like Bruce Hart, for whatever reason, isn't he like a wrestler? Like, doesn't he know? And he's just talking over Lawler, he's talking over Owen, and he's not letting them get their points across. So that was pretty funny to hear. But the entire Hart family will be at ringside, supposedly, at SummerSlam for that cage match. Next up, another appearance by Bob Backlund. He picks up another win over a jobber with a cross-face chicken wing, one of the best named maneuvers in wrestling in my opinion. As a kid, when me and my nephew got into wrestling, even though Backlund was part of an era where we weren't even a thought in our parents' mind, let alone we weren't even born yet, the cross-face chicken wing was always part of our arsenal when we had our little matches in our living room and when we were younger. So cross-face chicken wing brings back so many memories. But yeah, the show goes off the air with Tatanka and Luger again going at it backstage. So with that, should we get to the awards? You know what? I think I'm going to cut them off and bring them back after SummerSlam. Not really many choices for awards. It's always a clear-cut option or no option at all. So let's just jump to the grade for this episode. I'm going to give it a good grade. They built the whole episode around the $1 million stable, which again, it's Lex Luger who's really fucking all this up because he's so bad at acting. But it's still a decent storyline for its time. If they literally had anybody else in it, I think it would be coming off a lot better. Then they followed up with a decent King's Court. As long as they have a decent mic guy, these aren't that bad. And Owen Hart, I guess you can say he's decent. He's not the best on the mic, but he's a little bit better than Brett. And since Brett is the top guy, if you're better than Brett, you're doing something right. So yeah, Owen Hart on the King's Court wasn't bad, especially with Bruce fucking everything up. And then they continue whatever they're doing with Backlund, which he shouldn't be featured anymore, but this ain't Goldberg, so it's intriguing at least. I'll see how this plays out. So yeah, decent Raw 2 weeks I think before SummerSlam, and they're building it a whole lot better than last year, at least in terms of knowing what matches are taking place at SummerSlam and why, and not just because of the SummerSlam update. Like on Raw, they're actually telling us every single week, like, oh, this match is happening, that match is happening, so on and so forth. Last year, they weren't really doing that. So they just had random people on the show and no mention of SummerSlam outside of the SummerSlam update. They had one or two mentions here and there, but it's not like they're doing it this year. They're doing a whole lot better. So, with all that being said, I'm out.